thank everybody for coming here this morning. I feel really honored to be here, and I just got to tell you this. As I was driving over here this morning, I was just thankful to the Lord, and I said how awesome it is to be in a room full of servants of God. That though most of you I don't know by name or by face, a lot of us are meeting for the first time today. But what I do know about us is that we're family, although right, we haven't met. But God has called you, you've said yes, and you are serving Him. And I just thought, what an honor to be a room full of people who are called of God. And I tell you what, right when I got here, a gentleman I met, John, a pastor in the city, 5 years ago, one time, we recognized one another, and we're just chit-chatting, and he just says, is there anything I can do to help? And I just thought, yeah, you can do this, but I just thought, yes, that's what I mean. And then the second pastor who came in, these pastors are leaders of churches, came up to me, said, is there anything I can do to help? So I was putting down little pencils and little papers, and next thing you know, three of us were setting up the last little pieces of the room, and I just thought, this is good. My name is Evan Chase. I am, actually my official title is I'm the catalyst for Torrance. We're a Southern California nonprofit ministry, and I don't want to get too much into to who I am just briefly. Hopefully we'll meet, do coffee, I'll tell you all about my story and what we do later. But before I get started, I just want to introduce a couple city officials. One is Mike Ernst. Where's Mike? Mike, will you stand up? I wanted to see Mike. Mike's an elected Torrance Board of Education. Thanks, Mike. He's a friend of mine, and God is doing some great work in the schools. And Mike and I are partnering together and working with city officials and just doing some phenomenal things in the school system. The other one is a former city council member, Rod Guyton. Rod, will you stand up? I know you weren't expecting that. Good to see Rod. Rod's on the board for the ministry. And what I love about Rod is, I think I've known you about 10 years. I was thinking about that when I was coming up here. And the one thing that Rod has been consistent in our relationship is two words: relationships and service. That's what he talks about all the time. And so I'm glad you can be here. I know you got to run early, so we're just glad you can make it for as long as you're here. I want to tell you a story, then I want to introduce the mayor. And the reason I want to tell you this story is because what I want you to see, what I hope to communicate this morning, is that this is not just an event that the mayor dreamed of or that our ministry dreamed of and thought it's a good idea for a photo op or for a political move. I'm going to tell you this story because I really believe this is the hand of God orchestrating this moment right now. So here's the story, and a quick story. I was with Pat. Pat's another a local business owner. He's on our board as well. We were talking last year about this time about the growing prayer for our city, and we were really excited. Kind of that end of the year reflection, and people are praying for the city of Torrance and praying for the mayor, beginning to pray. We see a groundswelling of prayer, not just for the church, but for the community at large. And we were really encouraged to celebrating that. And then I just said, Pat, wouldn't it be great instead of just kind of guessing how to pray for the city, but wouldn't it be great if we could meet the mayor and ask him, how can we pray for the city? Instead of just guessing, but ask the mayor, how can we pray for the city? And we were kind of full of the idea of, oh gosh, and I said, then we could build a relationship and actually maybe get to know the guy. And I don't know about you, but I just felt really excited about the idea. Literally the next morning, another board member, Milton Herring, who's also pastor in the city, who's serving, his wife's here this morning, he's out of the state, right? Or getting ready out of the country. Is he going to Kuwait again? Or something like that? Yeah. Awesome serving guy. He's the president of our board. Literally calls me the next morning, not knowing about this conversation. He said, hey, Evan, do you want to meet the mayor? And I said, what? So he's also the president of the Lions Club. I'm so glad you're here. I always forget that. I actually put it in my old notes, Lions Club. And he says, yeah, the mayor's going to come speak at our next breakfast. And I said, oh my gosh. And I told him the story about what happened the day before. I called up Pat and I go, we're going to go see the mayor next week. So literally, we come to the function and we're listening. And I was encouraged because I never met him. It was the first time I ever actually heard him speak, Mayor Scotto. And it was really straightforward. He actually talked about his Catholic upbringing. And I thought, well, that's not really political savvy because this was a secular audience. But what came across to me was he didn't really care. He wasn't trying to win votes. He just came across as a man who was just sharing about, he's a native guy, just sharing, this is who he was, and this is part of his story. And I was really encouraged. I just felt like this guy was just really straightforward. He didn't come across as this politician to me. So he's a new mayor, and after he spoke, everybody gets in line, right? They want to shake the hand of the mayor, meet the mayor, and we did the same thing, but I thought, well, we're going to talk about a spiritual topic. So I thought that I don't want to put him in an awkward position, so we literally got in the back of the line, and we waited, everybody shakes your hand, and doing the stuff, and we get there, and I just, this sounds from Kingdomcauses, he's never met me before, and gosh, we've been praying for the city, a lot of us for a long time, and I said, but would you let us know there's something we could pray for? Instead of us kind of just guessing. And literally, he didn't look over my shoulder because we were talking about faith and see who was listening. Literally, he just, oh yeah, we could pray about this and this and this. I mean, it just rolled off his tongue so much so I literally looked at Pat and I was like, thank you. Check, check, all right. I'm probably yelling good enough now. I'm really excited. But literally, he started sharing so many things that I looked at Pat like, we need to write this down. I can't even remember all this. So that's why we got name tags, because I'm kind of so-so with names. But also to help one another. But anyway, so we left there just, I think, singing like little girls. It was so awesome. And then we talked, and I have a citywide email that I've had, I think, for 7 years. And we send out what's going on in the community, the faith-based community, and I add prayer requests from the mouth of the mayor to the city. And then we met a little while later, and I said, but you know what was missing? Although we did get this prayer request, it would be great to build that relationship with him. And so, and then get ongoing prayer requests. So I literally showed up at City Hall one day with no appointment, and I literally walked in there. I said, can a guy just meet the mayor? Can I see? I was like, I don't know the protocol or anything. Can a guy just meet? And his secretary was really warm. She said, sure, what are you doing Friday at 3? And I said, I'll be here, I guess. And I walked out there just kind of dumbfounded. 2 days later, Pat and I are sitting across from the mayor, doing exactly what was on our heart, saying, hey, we've been praying about these things, what's the latest? And he actually agreed to meet with us probably every 6 weeks, every couple months, to follow up. What new can we pray for, and how are things going? And we've been meeting ever since. And so that's been about 9 or 10 months. In the course of our meeting to get you to here today, he just shared a concern he had for the city. And some of his ideas, I was so inspired that I thought this is, what's on his heart is on the heart of God. We weren't talking about religion. I just felt like this is right, what he was saying. I came back and told my board and I said, this is what the mayor is talking about. What do you think about us being the champions of this? He didn't ever call it a vision or anything like that, but this idea. And we agreed, yes, let's do what we can to help see this fulfilled in our city, in our community. And I asked him, I said, would it be okay if you would speak and our ministry would organize a citywide effort of pastors and you just share your heart, what's on your heart? And he said yes, and here we are today. And I tell you that again because this was not just a good idea. I really felt led of the Lord. And so I really want you to not just hear from a man, but really consider maybe how God would want you to participate in what he has to share with you this morning. So we're going to have 2 speakers. The mayor's going to share, then I have Pastor Chris Cannon's going to share.